Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and just like the Black Ops 2 video, I'm going to be ranking all of the Black Ops 1 weapons from worst to best, using my opinion and for how good the weapon actually is, and I'm not going to be including any wonder weapons like the Black Ops 2 list, so I'm not including like the baby gun, the thunder gun, or the wave gun. This is just strictly just going to be weapons, nothing that shoots, just like non-bullets, I guess is the best way to say it, like not anything that uses element 115, I guess you could say. And sorry for any of the background noise in this video, and for any of the sounds from my mouse clicking. I apologize for that. I'll try to get that fixed for the next video. And I will see you guys later, and enjoy the video. Coming in at our dead last spot is going to be the China Lake. Now, this thing is a pump action grenade launcher, so it is a very slow weapon to use, which is not very good to have. This thing is barely even killing zombies on round 19, as you can see in the clip. And plus, this thing really does have good damage at all. This thing, probably one of the weaker weapons in Black Ops 1. I wouldn't recommend using it at all, by any means. Comes in at our last spot. Let's move on to number 29. Alright, so coming in at the 29th spot, we have the ballistic knife. This thing, we're going to be looking at the solo version, just like the Black Ops 2 ballistic knife. And it's only really good for points, I think, on round 1 through 4. That's really about it. It's not a weapon you want to have to kill with on higher rounds. It really just can't kill zombies past probably round 10, I'd say. I mean, it's good for, like, training with zombies, but that's about it. Not much else to say about it, other than it really isn't a viable option in the higher rounds. So yeah, let's move on to our 28th spot. Alright, so coming in at the 28th spot, we have the stakeout. Now, this shotgun actually isn't terrible by any means. It's an okay weapon, but its unupgraded version is very bad. There's a reason why people don't buy this shotgun, is because it really just isn't a weapon that that nobody wants to have, because its unupgraded version is pretty damn, like, really weak. Its upgraded version is an okay weapon, I guess. I don't exactly know how strong it is. I don't think it has as much ammo as it should have. And yeah, it really isn't a good weapon to have on the higher rounds. It really won't do much work. But yeah, let's move on to our 27th spot. Alright, so coming in at our 27th spot, we have the PM63. Now, the unupgraded version isn't really strong. It runs out of ammo way too fast, doesn't have enough ammo. But when you upgrade this thing, it's actually really fun to use. It's a dual-wield SMG. I mean, it runs out of ammo really, really fast. But it actually is on the wall, so you can just go back and get ammo. But yeah, it really isn't a special weapon at all. So let's move on to our number 26th spot. Alright, so coming in at our 26th spot, we have the L96A1. Now, this sniper in particular is actually not a very good sniper, to be honest. It isn't very strong, and for a lot of these weapons, they're really not that good because you don't have double tap 2.0, so they're really not that strong of weapons. But this sniper, I feel like it is so inaccurate, because whenever I have, like, my scope literally directly on a zombie's head, it'll just go right, the bullet will go right behind the zombie, completely missing. And sometimes, so basically, it's like sometimes you'll hit your target, sometimes you won't. It's kind of random. I don't know if it's just the sniper or me being bad. I really don't know. But yeah, let's move on to our 25th spot. So coming in at our 25th spot, we have the CZ75. Now, this thing, it's a pistol, so it really isn't amazing. But when you upgrade this thing, it actually gets a pretty decent amount of ammo, and it becomes full auto. So it's decently strong. I feel like it's pretty good for points, but this weapon really isn't all too great. I wouldn't really recommend getting it at all, but yeah, so let's move on to our 24th spot. Alright, so coming into the 24th spot, we have the Spectre. Now, this weapon is actually an amazing point weapon, and when I upgraded this thing, it actually wasn't as weak as I thought it was going to be. It actually killed some zombies, which I was surprised about. But this weapon, you know, it's really good for points. That's really about it. I wouldn't really use it as a killing weapon. But yeah, it's just, all in all, really just isn't a great weapon to have. So yeah, let's move on to our 23rd spot. So coming in at our 23rd spot, we have the FAL. Now this thing was actually a lot stronger than I thought it was going to be. I genuinely thought this thing was going to be really weak, but it actually was doing some work. And plus, it has a good amount of ammo as well. I mean, it's a burst weapon, just like the Black Ops 2 version, so it really... burst weapons just really aren't good for zombies. But yeah, there isn't much else to say about it, other than it actually is a pretty decent weapon. But yeah, let's move on to our 22nd spot. Alright, so coming in at our 22nd spot, we have the MPL. Now, this thing actually is a pretty good weapon to get on the early rounds, because it kills the zombies and plus it gets a good amount of points. I feel like a lot of the time when I play Black Ops 1, I actually get this weapon early on because it's just a solid point weapon and just a good weapon to kind of defend yourself with. But that's all it really is good for. It just, on the higher rounds, I guess it kills zombies decently well. It really just isn't an amazing weapon. But I'd say that it's a pretty solid weapon to have in the earlier rounds, which makes it actually a pretty decent weapon. So yeah, let's move on to our 21st spot. Alright, so coming into the 21st spot, we have the dual-wield CZ75. Now, this is actually a very good weapon. I mean, its unupgraded version really isn't amazing by any means, but its upgraded version is actually very powerful. It has a lot of ammo as well. I believe it has like 320 in reserve, and then it has like 20 in each pistol, so like 40 bullets plus a 320. That's 360. And yeah, all in all, this is actually a very good weapon to have. I wouldn't recommend it when you get past like around like 25, I'd say. So yeah, this comes in at our 21st spot. Let's move on to our 20th spot. Alright, so coming in at our 20th spot, we have the G11. Now, the unupgraded version of this thing is so bad. I hate when I get this out of the box. But when you actually upgrade this thing, it becomes full auto and is actually pretty damn powerful. But I feel like it just doesn't have enough ammo. I feel like it just runs out of ammo way too quickly. And yeah, I'm pretty sure if you put double tap with this thing, it just runs out of ammo so much faster. But yeah, this thing comes in our 20th spot. Let's move on to our number 19 spot. Okay, so coming in at our 19th spot, we have the MP5K. Now, this thing unupgraded is a very good point weapon. Honestly, this weapon is just a solid weapon to have on the early rounds. But when you come to the higher rounds, it really just doesn't do much for damage-wise. But it gets a good amount of points. But it's a wall weapon, which is actually really good to have. I mean, this thing is actually pretty decently strong. Isn't as strong as I thought it was going to be in the clip. But yeah, this thing comes in our 19th spot. Let's move on to our 18th spot. Alright, coming in at our 18th spot, we have the M16. Now, this thing, unupgraded, is terrible. Burst weapon really isn't that strong. Just, I wouldn't recommend using the unupgraded version. But when you upgrade this thing, it actually becomes full auto. But it really just isn't that strong at all. But it actually has a noob tube attachment on it, which is, I think it's one of the only weapons in zombies that actually has a noob tube attachment, just like the Black Ops 2 one. But the noob tube attachment really is not strong at all. But yeah, this comes in at our 18th spot. Let's move on to our 17th spot. Alright, so coming again at our 17th spot, we have the M14. Now, unupgraded, this thing is only good until like round 5, I'd say. But when you upgrade this thing, it actually gets a lot of ammo, and it's actually pretty strong. And it's in the starting room, so you can just get it off the wall, but keep buying ammo over and over again. So all in all, this is a really solid weapon to have. Comes in at our 17th spot. Let's move on to number 16. Alright, so coming in at our 16th spot, we have the HS-10. Unupgraded, this thing is dog shit. And when you upgrade this thing, I think it is the only shotgun in history in Call of Duty Zombies to become dual wield. Now, the only downside to this weapon is its ammo is very low. It is actually, I'm pretty sure, a very strong weapon, but it's just its ammo will not just make up at all for that damage. Its ammo is just the only problem with this. If it had more ammo, I would honestly love this weapon. But comes in our 16th spot. Let's move on to number 15. Alright, so coming in at our 15th spot, we have the AK-74U. Unupgraded, this thing runs out of ammo way too damn fast. When you upgrade this thing, it actually gets a good amount of ammo. Its damage is actually pretty decent, I'd say. Because in the clip, it's actually killing zombies pretty fast on round 18 for an SMG. And this thing is off the wall. And honestly, this is just a solid all-around weapon. I wouldn't recommend using it though in the higher rounds. It's good for the early rounds, getting points and stuff like that. But this is coming in at our 15th spot. Let's move on to number 14. Alright, so coming in at our 14th spot, we have the MP40. Now, unupgraded, this thing is actually a very, very good point weapon to have. I would honestly get it almost every time I'm playing Kino. However, when you upgrade this thing, I think it gets a pretty good amount of damage. I would say that it's probably good until like round 20. But the saddest thing about this weapon is I believe when you upgrade it, it only gets like an extra 32 bullets, which really just is not good at all. But yeah, it comes in our 14th spot. Let's move on to our number 13th spot. Alright, coming in at the 13th spot, we have the Spaz 12. And unupgraded, this thing really isn't good. Its damage is very low. I honestly wouldn't recommend using the unupgraded version. But when you upgrade this thing, it has a lot of damage. You don't have to reload each individual shell. You just reload all of them at once. This thing becomes full auto. But the only downside to this weapon is that its ammo is very, very low. I'm pretty sure that is a lot of problem with a lot of Black Ops 1 weapons, is that their ammo just isn't there. And if they had more ammo, Black Ops 1 weapons would actually be a lot better. But this comes in at our 13th spot. Let's move on to our 12th spot. Alright, so coming in at our 12th spot, we have the Olympia. And this thing, unupgraded, really isn't worth having. But when you upgrade this thing, it actually is pretty strong. And this thing's actually pretty unique because it shoots incendiary rounds. Basically, if you kill a zombie, that zombie will catch on fire, which actually, that's pretty damn cool if you ask me. But this thing, all it really has is just good damage, and that's about it. It just has really good damage. It's on the wall, so you can just keep going back and buying ammo. So that's about it for the Olympia. Comes in at our 12th spot. Let's move on to our 11th spot. So coming in at our 11th spot, we have the Python. Now, this weapon is actually one of the better weapons in Black Ops. This weapon, unupgraded, is pretty decent. But when you upgrade this thing, it gets even better. It has a lot of ammo. It's actually a really strong weapon. It has good mobility because it's a pistol. And that's pretty much it for the Python. Just good damage, good mobility. And just has a good amount of ammo. So yeah, it comes in at our 11th spot. Let's move on to our number 10th spot. Alright, now we're getting into the weapons that are actually like good weapons to have. So coming in at our 10th spot, we have the FAMAS. Unupgraded, this thing is actually really good. When you upgrade it, it actually gets even better. Now, the only downside with this thing is that its lack of ammo. Its ammo is way too low for an assault rifle. But this thing has some pretty good damage all around. Just a solid weapon. I would recommend using it until like they're probably around the 20s, maybe 25. But yeah, this comes in our 10th spot. Let's move on to our number 9th spot. Alright, coming in at our 9th spot, we have the AUG. Now this weapon is just an all-around, just amazing weapon. Unupgraded, this thing is pretty good for killing zombies. When you upgrade this thing, it has a lot of ammo. I think it has like 420 bullets. I'm not entirely sure. It has really good damage. And it is a very unique weapon because I think it is the only gun in all of zombies that has an underbarrel shotgun attachment. And this shotgun attachment is actually a very strong attachment as well. So yeah, this comes in at our number 9 spot. Let's move on to number 8. Alright, so coming in at our 8th spot, we have the Dragunov. Now, this thing unupgraded is really, really bad. But when you upgrade this thing, it actually is a one-shot. I don't exactly know how long it is, but it is, I think, a one-shot somewhere into the 20s. Don't exactly know. This weapon has a good amount of ammo. I think it has 100 shots when it's upgraded, which is actually a pretty decent amount of ammo. This thing is also very good for killing George in Call of the Dead, which there's not many weapons that can actually kill George really quickly, but this is actually one of them. And this comes in at our 8th spot. It's a pretty solid weapon. Let's move on to our 7th spot. Alright, so coming in at our 7th spot, we have the HK-21. Now this thing has a lot of ammo. I think it has like 900 bullets, which is a lot of ammo for an LMG. And this weapon is actually a very strong gun. If you get double tap, it increases its fire rate, because its fire rate is super slow when it doesn't have double tap. This thing is a pretty solid weapon, I think, when it's unupgraded too. I don't exactly know if it's good or not. I think it is. But yeah, this comes in our 7th spot. Let's move on to our number 6 spot. Alright, so coming in at our 6th spot, this just barely got beaten by the RPK, which is coming up next. This is the Galil, which is in our 6th spot. Now this thing is actually a very strong weapon. If you have double tap with it, it actually shoots very damn fast, which actually puts out a lot of damn damage. And this thing has a lot of ammo. I think it has like 525 bullets, I think, which is almost LMG numbers, which is crazy to think about. Now, in the clip on round 28, this thing is actually doing work, surprisingly, for an assault rifle. This thing is just an all-around really good weapon. It's a fan favorite as well, so a lot of people actually use this. Yeah, it comes in our 6th spot. Let's move on to our 5th spot. Alright, so coming in at our 5th spot is going to be the RPK. Now, this only beats the Galil because it has a lot more ammo. And this thing actually has a very good damage output as well. All I can really say about this is that it's just a very good weapon to have. It's just a lot of ammo, good damage, and that's exactly what you want in a weapon. So yeah, let's move on to number 4. Coming into our 4th spot is going to be the Law. Now, a lot of people underrate this weapon because of its unupgraded version. But however, when you upgrade this thing and get PhD on Ascension, like I'm using it right now, it is actually a very, very powerful rocket launcher. This thing, you don't have to aim down sights with it when it's upgraded, so you could just straight up just shoot it without aiming in. This thing has like, I think, 60 shots in total. This thing, I think you can use it around like round 50, and it still is actually killing zombies pretty quickly. So yeah, this thing is actually a very good weapon to have. So it comes in at number 4. Let's move on to our number 3 spot. Alright, now these top 3 weapons, nothing can compete with these weapons. Like, these weapons are just like at the god tier list for Black Ops 1 weapons. And coming in at number 3 is going to be the crossbow. Now, its unupgraded version is terrible. Nobody wants it, but the only reason why people actually upgrade this is because of its effect. This thing basically acts like a monkey bomb. So when you shoot an arrow, basically what happens is all the zombies go to that. So basically, if you're trapped in a corner with a bunch of zombies, you shoot it, and all of the zombies are gonna run away from you. This thing is basically like your savior weapon. It's a helper weapon. It's not gonna kill zombies at all. It's just gonna save your ass a lot. And there's not much else to say about this weapon other than it's a helper weapon. Gets the zombies away from you. One of the most helpful weapons ever in zombies. So yeah, let's move on to our 2nd place spot. Coming in at our 2nd place spot is going to be the Commando. No gun can rival this in damage. This thing's headshot multiplier is so damn high. It shoots so damn fast when you get double tap on it. Plus it gets fast mags on it. If this thing had more ammo, I don't know what weapon can compete with this. Honestly, this thing is just way too fucking good. But there isn't much else to say about it, because all around it's just a really, really good weapon. Its unupgraded version is actually pretty good too. So I would recommend using this weapon probably in like maybe even the 30s. This thing is actually very, very strong. So yeah, so move on to our 1st place spot. Alright, so I know I said that the Commando cannot be rivaled, but coming in at number 1, just like the Black Ops 2 list, is going to be Mustang and Sally. This thing is so overpowered. Like, this thing could carry you to the 50s. It's just so damn good. Because it's just a grenade launcher, basically. And those grenades are on impact, and plus they're really damn strong. If you get PhD on Ascension like I'm using right here, it's basically like you're invincible until you get to like round 50, which the zombies I think start getting to a point where you actually need to shoot like a lot of grenades to kill them. But yeah, this thing is just amazing. Comes in at number 1 in our BO1 worst to best list. Alright, so hey guys, thanks for watching. Comment down below if I missed any weapons. Comment down below if you disagree with my list at all. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.